everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany and I am the maker, creator, doer, everything except editor behind this channel. And I was sitting knitting on Nenes Hat for the trip to New York, and I realized that it's probably been about 2 weeks since I've done an update video. So I thought today I would show you guys what I've been up to, because it's quite a bit. So with that said, first let's get over the admin stuff. Like I said, my name is Tiffany, and you can find me on Ravelry as Tiffany Loves Yarn. Pop up here. And you can also find me on Instagram as tiffs_inspired_life. I have been trying to post more on Instagram, especially with it being fall and moving into the winter season, but I'm not super great at it. But I've been taking some walks lately, and I've got some really good nature footage. And the other day when I went for my walk, I saw some deer. So I need to start to put some of that stuff up onto my Instagram so everybody can see it. But yep, so those are the two places that you can find me online, Ravelry and Instagram. And I think that's it, like admin wise. It is October 29th, so not quite Halloween, but I am wearing my Sally Skellington shirt today. There we go. Jay is taking me this evening to see the A Nightmare Before Christmas. I've never seen it on a big screen before. I've only ever seen it like on television. So we're gonna go and see it tonight. So I thought I would wear my shirt for the movie. I have a small stack of finished objects. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 works in progress, and 1 hopeful project to cast, 6 works in progress and 1 hopeful project to cast on that is actually from my 10 free patterns video, which if you haven't seen, I will put a pop-up right here for it so that you guys can check it out. I chose 10 free patterns for things that you could do with fingering weight yarn that weren't like your regular patterns that show up all of the time in everybody's videos. I tried to look for unique and different things, so if you're interested, check that out. And with that said, let's show you what I've been up to. All right, so first and foremost is I finished my bookshelf socks. And here they are. Ta-da! I love them so much. They are super squishy. Check out that detailing. Oh, I just love that. This is a pattern by Becky Mundy. I will put a pop-up right here for it. Super simple 4-row repeat. Nothing really difficult or complicated if you want like a relaxing knit that's going to produce a nice squishy sock. Definitely recommend. I enjoyed making these so much that I actually started another pair. I haven't worked on them because I kind of went down a hat and sweater rabbit hole, but I did finish these ones, and they are made with the yarn is by Mrs. Crosby Loves to Play, and it is in their train case base, and I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, if I remember, I'll pop it up right here, but I can't remember what it's called right now. But it's got a standard slip stitch heel and the regular wedge toe. So nothing incredibly difficult there. But this was a super easy pattern if you are a beginner knitter, or you are a intermediate knitter. I would say you would definitely enjoy this pattern. It's really not complicated at all, and I did the design all the way down the front of the foot. just like the pattern. But if you were a beginner knitter, if you wanted, you could omit that part and just do the texture for the leg, and then just do regular knit for the foot if you wanted to. And I think that would still work out just as cute. Like I said, I've already started another pair. I just haven't worked on them lately. But finished object number 1. Super excited. Now that I've shown you guys, I can wear them. Let's see. The other thing that I have finished is something that you guys haven't seen. This was just like a random cast on. And first, let me show you the yarn. This is the yarn. It is Wisdom Yarns, and the colorway is called New York. And this was a yarn that my mom had given me. Let's see, 75% superwash wool, 25% polyamide. This was 100 grams or 437 yards. And I just did a basic vanilla shorty sock. And I have 3. All right, so I have 3 of them done, and I have 1 left to go, because a pair is going to be for myself, and then a pair is going to be for Nenes. And each one is different. So this is what the first one came out as, and these are just regular vanilla shorties with a slip stitch heel. All my socks are knit on a 2.25 millimeter cast on of 64 stitches because that's what works for me. So that was that one. And then there's this one. And these two, I kind of tried to make them similar, but like the stripe is just off. Like, I'm not sure if you could, yeah, there you go. You see where the black stripe is right here, as opposed to how it started way down there for the other sock. So I just couldn't figure out where it was in the yarn to actually create the repeats. So in the end, we just opted for Oddball Socks. Now these two, this way though, I almost have them identical. Almost. See? Until you got to right about here on the toe, and then for some reason, like, it shifted just the tiniest bit, and it's only shifted by like a row or two, but still, by the time you got to the toe, it was just enough of a shift that they don't match. So I have 3 of these done, and I have 1 more to make, like I said, and then Nenes and I will have matching socks to wear when we go to New York. So you guys hadn't seen these in any of the videos. These were like a random cast on that I was just like, oh, I want to knit with that yarn now. And then I sat down and I knocked out a pair of socks in a day. It was cool. Let's see, sock blockers. What else have I worked on? Oh, I had a skein of Madeline Tosh worsted, but I can't remember the colorway. Anyway, I had come across the pattern for the Italian summer scarf, and I wanted to make something that I could wear inside my coat when we go to New York next month. So I was like, oh, that will be perfect because it's thicker. So I decided to make that. It's not blocked yet. I still need to block it out, and that's going to give me some more length, I think. But this is what it looks like unblocked. And this is the Italian summer scarf, and I know it's supposed to be made out of like a lightweight yarn, and you know, it's supposed to be much bigger than this. But I just thought that the design was going to be really nice for the yarn, and it turned out to be just what I wanted. And then I figured what I can do is I can wear it inside my coat, and then I'm just going to fold the neck down like that inside my coat, so I can have, my neck won't be freezing when we're out looking at the floats on parade day. and then that it can just tuck inside my coat. So I think it's actually a good length for that, for what I had in mind. Now I did see that they just came out with the Italian winter scarf as well, which was kind of ironic considering I used the summer scarf for this. But I thought I might give that one a try later on in the season. It'll give me something to make. But this was something else that you guys hadn't seen that I just kind of, I had actually cast this on, honestly, in, I believe it was May. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was May. And I got all of the increases done. And then it just kind of sat and languished. And I was like, but I really want this to wear to the trip, so I guess I'd better finish it. So there you go. Finished object number 3. So that's 2 unexpected and 1 expected. So I told you guys in the 10 patterns video that one of the patterns I was actually making for Jay, and I would show you guys how I was getting on with that. And that pattern is the Reversible Rib Cap. I will put a picture of it right here in case you don't remember. And this is, Jay picked the yarn because he thought that he might get a new pair of boots to wear when we went to New York, and he normally gets Timberland boots. And so he picked this to go with it. The sun is kind of blowing it out. It's actually a bit more golden than what the camera is showing it up as. Think wheat. Yeah, think wheat. This is a mom mystery yarn, so I don't know what it is. I just know that it's a regular fingering weight yarn. And this hat is supposed to be cast on with a size 0 or a size 1.5 needle, which is a 2 millimeter or a 2.5 millimeter. So I have it cast on with a 2.5 millimeter. This is the one that she said that if you cast on the 160 stitches, your rib will be even. If you cast on the 172, it will not be even. And I know that Jay's very particular about things like that, and I'm particular about my ribbing. So I cast on the 160, and we're just going to hope for the best. And this is how far we are. And I'm using my acorn here as my progress keeper. And for the round, my stitch marker is a butterfly. Come on, focus. Nope, it's a dragonfly. Excuse me. Yeah, it's a dragonfly. And this, I started out knitting it magic loop, but it's 3x2 rib, and 3x2 rib on magic loop is not, it's not fun. So I ended up taking my Chaigu twist with the super, let me see if I can, with the super fine cable, and I just put the stitches on there, and then I just grabbed the needles. And to make the stitches fit perfectly, I'm using one of the longer of the two and one of the short ones. So it's giving me just enough needle length to be able to hold all of the stitches. So that's what I'm doing. The only thing is it feels kind of weird to have such a thin cable down here at this end, but overall it's working, and now I'm going much faster than I was. I have to do this for 8 inches, and then you start to do the decreases that are at for the top of the hat, and picture here if you guys don't remember what it looks like. And so I am at, I think this was 4 inches. The acorn is at 4 inches. And I've put in about another inch, so I have 3 inches to go, and then I can start the decreases because the hat is supposed to fold. It's supposed to fold, and it's supposed to have like a really thick brim to keep his head warm. So that's where I am on the reversible rib cap. I'm getting there. It has to be finished before we leave. So I've been working on this pretty much every evening, and I work on it like in between meetings or when the system for work is taking forever to load. I'll knock out a few stitches. So that is project number one. Project number two is for Nenes. And I had originally told you guys that I was going to make her a 2x2 rib hat. I started out as a 2x2 rib hat, but Friday, I think it was Friday I was sitting in my bed and I was working on Jay's hat, and Nenes' hat was sitting right here, and I was like, I really need to work on Nenes' hat, otherwise it's not going to be ready for the trip. Like, really, I need to do that. And I'm like, oh God, but it's 2x2 rib, and I can't anymore. I can't. So instead, what I decided to do was a version of the Sockhead hat by Kelly McClure. And I will put a picture of it right here for you. And this one is, I do believe, this is a free pattern. Yeah, it's a free pattern on Ravelry, and I've made quite a few of these. Nene doesn't want hers to be slouchy, so the pattern's got a few modifications. And the yarn that I'm using is a hot mess on the floor in front of me, so I will just show you this bit. This is a blue one with Stellina in it. That is a mom yarn, which, as you guys know, mom yarns are all mystery yarns. And the rest of it is down here. Don't ask. Here is Nene's hat. I did about an inch of ribbing, and then I said, okay, I'm done with the ribbing. We're not doing that anymore. And then started the hat. And for the size large, you're supposed to cast on, it was 160 stitches, and I have 164 here, but I'm not too worried about it because I can just always knock out those 4 stitches right before I start the decreases for the crown. And since I have 164 stitches instead of 160, this is on 2.75 millimeter needles instead of size 3. And the stitch marker for this one is a little blue Christmas ornament. If you guys can see it. Yep. And it's producing a really pretty fabric, and it sparkles, and she got her coat for the trip yesterday, and it's this really pale blue, the pale blue that's actually in the hat. Like, you can see it really good right here in the band. Her coat is that color, so the hat's going to go really well with it. And I measured it today, and I'm already at 4.5 inches. And for the size that I'm going to make for her, for the head, it has to be 9 inches before I start the decreases. So now I think I'll definitely have her hat done on time. And I am just using some regular bamboo needles. Nothing special about them. I think they're the Takumi. Yeah, the Takumi. Yeah, bamboo needles. I like them. The stitches, they stay put. They slide fairly well, but not so much that I have to worry about the stitches falling off. So, yep, we're getting there. Let me see. Okay, one more work in progress. No, 2, actually, kind of. We have, this is my Brightside. It was one of my 10 sweaters that I said I wanted to knit this year for this season, and this is where we are. We have finished the body, and I am working on this sleeve. It's about halfway done, and then I have the other sleeve. It's on a needle, but I haven't started it yet. Really happy with this sweater. I was really nervous that it wasn't gonna fit because my gauge was off by just the tiniest bit, and so I was like, it's not gonna fit. And so I ended up putting it on 2 really big knitting needles, the 40-inch cable, so I could try it on, and I had plenty of room, and so I was like, yes, happy dance. So that part I was great about, but then since I had it on, I was able to see that it came like right up halfway through my rib cage, and I thought I had so much less to do than that, and like the upper portion of my rib cage, not the lower portion. And so I was like, oh my god, this is gonna take me forever. So I spent like I think it was like 3 days, and I was like, I'm gonna finish the body. That's all there is to it. I'm finishing the body. We're finishing it. So I got that done, and then I decided on a whim that I wanted to learn a new bind off. So instead of doing like Jenny's stretchy bind off or what have you, I decided I wanted to learn how to do the tubular bind off. And I loved it. Oh my gosh. I did it while watching, no, I wasn't watching anything. I was listening to the rest of my Sherlock Holmes on Audible, which I did finish. So 74 hours of Sherlock Holmes, done, finished. So happy. So I did the tubular bind off while listening to that, and it is so cool. Like you can't tell like where it ends. And you know how like with regular ribbing, how you have like those funky bumps and it looks, this is so seamless. So now I'm like, oh, I want to do tubular bind off on all the things. So I'm also going to try it on the sleeves. I was reading that you have to rearrange your stitches though when you do a tubular bind off when it comes to like cuffs. So I still have to do some learning about that, but I definitely want to give that a try. Aside from that, the only other problem I had was when I got to the end, right here, and like you can't tell, but I know it's there. Right here is where the row ended, and there was a gap there, and I don't know why, and I couldn't fix it. So in the end, when I wove in my ends, I did the spider web weaving for the ends, where you actually take the plies of the yarn and you separate them out, and one goes one direction and the other one goes the other direction. I did that because the sweater is so thin. You know, I figured that we were going to be able to see the threads if I didn't separate them out like that. And the stitches are not like perfectly smooth right now, but I think they're going to come out just fine with blocking. So the sweater at this length, it comes like right to my hips. So I'm pleased with that. I think with blocking, I'll get like maybe another half an inch or so out of it, and it'll be like spot on. But I'm pretty confident that I can get the sweater finished before the trip. So that's where we are. We have the body, and we have half of a sleeve, and we have one sleeve to go. And I have this much yarn to finish the arms of this skein, right? And then I have 3 more. So, and a ball. I knew there was more. And a ball. So I actually have almost enough, believe it or not, to make this sweater again if I wanted to. Maybe like as a short sleeve. Yeah, I think I could do this again as a short sleeve. And I might, I don't know, we'll see. I'll do it as a short sleeve and then give it to one of the girls. But that's where we are. The Brightside is almost done. It should be done for the trip. So I'm super excited. Let's see. 2 projects left. All right. So in here is my only Halloween knitting, and this is my Halloween project bag. How cool is this? And it has a little witch. How cute is she? Let's see. Here we go. And in here live my Halloween socks that I have been working on. And let's see. What am I using? Okay, so I have, this is a yarn that I've had forever and ever and ever. And I know that it's called Friday the 13th, and I think it's by the Lemonade Shop. And I am doing my socks. I'm doing 2 socks at once, both of them on 9-inch circulars. One is coming from the outside of the skein and the other is coming from the inside. And this is what I'm using for my heels. And it is every bit as bright as what the sun is making it. This is the neon. I think that is in my Summer Vibes sock. I think that's that one. And here are my socks. And I just did regular, I took some black first and did some 1x1 twisted rib on both of them for a little while. And then I changed to 2x2 rib. How cool are they? I think that's, the speckles on this I think came out so cool. Like, just, yeah, I think it's so cool. And one is on 9-inch bamboo and the other one is just on 9-inch metallics, and it's a sock, so I'm not too terribly worried about the gauge. And I just did a regular slip stitch heel. So I have one heel done, and on this one I have just finished the gusset. So now I will go and I will put the heel in this one and then do the gusset, and then I just have to finish the feet. So they will not be finished by Halloween, but they're getting there. And my stitch marker on these ones is my little acorn. So I will finish these ones sometime next month, but yeah, I'm not incredibly bent out of shape if I don't finish it. And let's see if I can show you what the inside of the bag looks like, because it is just as cool as the outside. So those are my only Halloween knitting that I have done. I did not do my little pouches this year that I wanted to do. I don't even think I bought the pattern. So I definitely need to go and buy the pattern at least. And I'll do them next year. I started a Halloween cross stitch that's a ghost, and I will try to remember to put a picture of the pattern right here. I didn't get very far on it because these are white ghost on black 14 count Aida cloth, and I'm having a dickens of a time seeing the holes on the Aida cloth, and I have not been able to figure out a way that I can work on it comfortably yet, aside from like literally sitting by the window, which I can't do all the time. But yeah, I'll try to remember to put a picture right here of the one that I am doing for that. And let's see, aside from that, I have 2 new cast-ons and 1 wishful. Okay, so the first cast-on is one that I think a lot of people are doing right now, and that is the Sweet Shop blanket by Laura Penrose. And I love this pattern. I'm having so much fun with it. I am having a hard time figuring out how to get the joint for my squares to be just right, but instead of being bent out of shape about it, I'm just kind of like, you know what, it's a blanket and you have 99 squares to do, so how about we just don't stress about something that small. I am going to make 3. I think I said in my other video, my last video, that I wanted to make a pink one in pinks, 1 in blues, one in purples, and maybe one in yellows, because I started to pull all of my bits of yellow yarn together. And I think I'll start with showing you guys. Here's my basket of, there we go, of some of the pinks that I am using to make my blanket. And then I have some big cakes of pink from when I did the video where I counted out how many cakes of yarn I had that had been gifted to me from my mom. So I have some pink ones from that I think in my last 2 videos back I showed the cart and how I organized the colors. But I figured that this would be a good way to use up some of the yarn, and some of them I know I told you guys were like my favorites. Like this is the It's My Party, and now it's in like a hat, 3 or 4 pairs of socks, and now what's left is going into this ball, at least, is going into a blanket. I still have a whole other skein of this. And then this is what's left of the Mrs. Crosby Likes to Play from the bookshelf socks. So that's going to go into the blanket as well. I am knitting it on my French 4mm double pointed needles, because it's just the right length to hold the stitches. I'm doing it 2 pattern at the 45 stitches. And pardon my weaving ends. Here is my blanket so far. This is so much fun. I'm holding 2 strands of fingering weight yarn together. You can also do it with DK weight if you wanted to. I saw some people on Instagram, that's what they've done. And so what I decided to do was I held 2 strands of 2 different shades of pink together for mine. Like here is It's My Party, and it is held double with, I think it's this. I think it was this one. I think it was these 2 held together. And then this one is that pink lipstick yarn. And I think for this one, it's held double with another pink. It's not 2 skeins of pink. This one is one where I did the square and then I ran out of yarn. And instead of getting bent out of shape, I just went with it and just picked 2 new colors and just finished off the square that way. And that way I was like, oh, well, you know, I finished all of the yarn. And same thing with this color right here, this deep pink. I didn't have a lot of it, so I couldn't like hold 2 strands of deep pink together in order to make the half a square. So I just held like a light pink with it, and it kind of gave me a marled square. There's no logic or rhyme or reason to my blanket. I'm just grabbing whatever color is next that grabs me, and just trying to use up as much as I possibly can. This marker denotes the foundation square. And I think that's about it. You guys can see where I'm having a hard time figuring out that join like right at the center where you've got the 4 squares. Like, I haven't quite figured that bit out yet, but it took me a while to figure out how to pick up the stitches even to begin with. I'm sure it's very right-handed friendly, but it wasn't left-handed friendly at all. So it took me a while to figure that out, and I am trying to weave in my ends as I go, and I'm trying to remember to weave them all in on the back only, not the front. So, and I am just using two strands of Cascade Heritage in Snow held together to do the white portion of the square. So the white is my main and the pinks are my contrasting. And I'm going to do where's the picture? I'll use this one. I'm gonna do, I think it's the lap slash the throw size, which is 99 squares. So it's the dark blue, or this blue one out here. So that's the size that I'm going to do. I figured 99 squares should definitely use up a good sized amount of pink, blue, purple, green, and yellow. And then if I happen to still have any left over, God forbid at this point, maybe I'll just take it all and use it to make one more, like maybe make a lap gan or something like that with the colors that are left over. But yeah, I thought that would be really neat. I have seen so many different ways that people have made these. Marlene Knits is making one, and hers are in all neutral colors, and it just looks so cozy. And then I believe I saw that the Knitting Pickle has a new video up, and I saw that they have one in the cover photo for their video, and it had, I believe it was burgundy and white only squares. I think it was the Knitting Pickle. Anyway, so yeah, it's been so cool to see all of the different ways that people are coming up with them and how they're making them. And I'm really, really, really enjoying the process. So I can't recommend the pattern enough. If you want something relaxing to do, that once you get the hang of it, it flows really nicely. And like I might do just 1/2 of a square, and then I'll set it aside and work on something else, and the next day I'll come and do the other half of the square. Of course, I have the lofty goal of being able to do 1 square a day, which would mean that in theory I could make 3.5 blankets in 1 year. And since I've already started this year, I'm kind of cheating, but I know that that's like a ridiculously lofty goal. But you know, hey, a girl can dream. Okay, 2 things left. One is living in here. I was scrolling through Ravelry, as one does when, you know, one should be doing other things like laundry, dishes, or working. And I came across this pattern for Andrea Mowry's Big Cozy Cardi. And I was like, oh, so I need to make that. Yeah, that needs to happen. So I went through my yarn because I didn't want to have to buy yarn to make it. And I'm actually going to make 2, one for myself and one for my mom. And after I get my mom's cast on, then I will show you guys hers. But hers is actually made from yarn from Stash, yarn that she gave me. So it's kind of funny that it's going back to her. This yarn is also yarn that she had given me that, I don't know, it's not even a color that she likes, so I don't know what she was thinking. It is by Barocco, and it is called Arno. It is 57% cotton, 43% merino wool. It says that you need a US size 5 or a size 7 knitting needle, or a 4mm USG size crochet hook, and it says this is a number 3 lightweight yarn. And it's not really coming up on camera the way that it should. But you see how it's got like all of these yellow bits in it and stuff? It's a tube yarn as well. And let me see. It's a tube yarn. And I will try to remember to put some pictures right here of the skeins of yarn not in the light so you can see, because it's like this teal aqua color. It's really, really pretty, and it doesn't, well, there you go. Yeah, that's kind of closer. There's like some green in it too. I don't know. I'll try to put some pictures up here and hopefully it'll come through better. But anyway, I had all of these. So I was like, oh, well, I have more than enough because I think for the pattern, if I remember correctly, I needed like 1,940 yards, I think is what I needed from my size. No, I'm sorry. I need 1,473 yards. I have 1,900 yards of this stuff, so I have plenty. And then for my mom's size, I need 1,606 yards. And I think I have like 1,800 yards of the yarn that I'm going to use for her. So anyway, it's essentially just a giant rectangle, and then you fold it. And then you need Siri alpaca for the collar. So I won't be able to do that bit from stash. I'll have to buy some. I'll try to remember to put a picture here of what I have in mind that I found on Etsy. But here is mine. I had to cast on 287 stitches, and it was fun. That's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. It was not fun. It took me 3 tries. And then there's a spot in the pattern where after you do your cast on and for the body, and then it says body, and then it says blah, 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 and then it tells you what to start doing, row 1 through 4, and then says continue that until it's X amount of inches long. But then when you're on the beginning of the pattern, there's this section that says texture pattern, and it has 4 rows. And so I was stuck, and I was like, so which one is it? Is it these 4 or is it the other 4? And then I went and I looked in the chat, the comment section in Ravelry, and I saw that other people had asked, but they hadn't gotten an answer. At least not inside Ravelry, because there's actually a comment that says, please remember any questions that are asked here they'll be responded to outside from email address, whatever. So what I ended up doing was counting how many stitches it was. And for the first one, where it says texture pattern, it says it's 7 stitches. And so I was like, okay, well, it's 287 divisible by 7. Yes, it is. Okay, so that might work. So what do I need for my mom? Well, for my mom, I have to cast on 311, which is not divisible by 7. And that was how I made the choice to not go with the section that said texture pattern is blah, 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 to use where it says these 4 rows for the body. So I did that, and then I got to going, and I'm like, oh, I really like this. I hope this is going to be right. So then I went on to Ravelry, and I found people's projects and just started looking for ones that had the cast on, and I blew it up as big as I could get it. And then I counted how many knits and how many purls, how many knits, how many purls. And I was like, okay, that looks like mine. Okay, that's I'm good. That's what I'm going to go with. So it worked out just fine. So if you get the pattern, don't go with the section at the beginning that says texture pattern is this. Go with where it says in the body, do these 4 lines. I don't even know why that other bit's in there. So anyway, also a lot of people said that once they finished it, that the wrong side of the work was what they were going to use for the outside of the cardigan because it had more visual interest. And I have to say, I agree. So this is the right side of my work, right? And it's like lots of knits and purls spread out over a 4-row repeat. It doesn't look, incredibly fun or interesting. But let's see if you can see the other side. Yeah, you can. Check out the wrong side of the work. It's kind of like the basket weave stitch. So I agree with everybody else. The wrong side of the work, I think, has more visual interest. And so that's what I'm going to use for mine as well, for the right side. So this is what I've been working on. 287 stitches. It takes a long time. So I cast this on, I guess about a week and a half ago. And that's as far as I've gotten. I think I've done 3 repeats. Yeah, I think 3 repeats. But people say from the comments that the Surrey alpaca part is what takes the longest to get through. But I mean, I think it's going to be totally worth it when it's done. So that is my new cast on that I've been working on that you guys have not seen. Well, now you've seen it, but you hadn't seen before. And I'm enjoying it overall. I think that it's something that I'll probably be working on until like January or February before it's finished. Of course, by then it'll be back to 90 degrees in Florida and I won't get to wear it, but that's okay. The last thing that I have that I wanted to share is a hopeful cast on. And in my video where I did the 10 patterns, one of them was for the Step Right Up shawl picture right here. And I had said that I had tried the crochet version ages ago, and at the time I just couldn't, I couldn't get it. So I thought that I would do the knit one. And if you notice in the picture for the knit one, my printout is black and white, so it's not going to be any good. But if you notice in the knit one, it kind of like goes from orange to blue. So I had a yarn in my stash that goes from orange to blue. And I thought that I would make it. And this is a yarn by Apple Tree Knits. They are based out of New Jersey. And this is on their plush fingering base, and it is called Fire and Ice Gradient, 560 yards on 100% superwash merino wool. And how pretty is this? So that's what the label looks like. Check it out, guys. For once, I know who made the yarn and it has a label. I know. Shocking. I know that I've had this in my stash since I moved back to Florida from New York, so about 8 years. And I bought it because it was pretty, and that was it. But I want to make the Step Right Up, the knitted version, and I think that I can get something similar to what is in the picture. So that is my hopeful cast on for sometime somewhere, something in the next couple of weeks. I'd like to cast that on as well. I have not put any work in on my blue Brightside. I am still at the row number 4 of the 4th repeat of the raglans. I have not cast on, it's not even sitting here anymore. Oh, it's on the bed. I have not cast on my slipover, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it done in time for the trip to New York. I still have lofty goals of being able to cast it on, and we will see. I don't know, worst case scenario, if I can get far enough along on it, I can be on the plane just speed knitting. And it won't be finished before I leave, but it'll be finished by the time I land, maybe. Or hopefully before I come back and I can wear it. But I am going to take several of my knitted sweaters that I've made, and I'm going to wear them while I am in New York. And I will take some footage of Central Park and show them off that way. I've not worked on the Shiva scarf either. And I think that's it. I haven't worked on the caramel apple socks because I'm just not feeling that right now. I think I think I might have lost my sock mojo. I hope not, because I really like making socks. We'll see. I think right now it's just because I want to get the hats finished for Jay and Nene for the trip that's why I haven't cast on any socks, because I do have some that I want to make for the winter. And I was watching Cherie from the Ollie and Bella podcast. She did a weekly vlog, and she showed off the new West Yorkshire Spinners winter yarn for this year. She has a skein of the Nutcracker, and it is so pretty. So now I'm like, I don't have that one because I have all of the other ones. I've collected them, and I've only ever knit with one skein, and I felt guilty, and I had to buy another skein to stick in the stash. So I have all of them, except I don't have this new Nutcracker one. And if I can find it online, I'll put a picture of it right here for you guys so you can see it. It's so pretty, and it definitely makes you think of the Nutcracker. It's not all pink and floofy. It's more like the more masculine side of the Nutcracker. Anyway, so I want to get a skein of that, and I want to cast on those socks as well. And I recently last weekend, I went through my yarn and kind of had a coming to the knitting gods moment, and it acknowledged which yarns I will definitely knit with and which ones I will not. So I have a lot of them that were gifted to me by my mom, as you guys all know. And so what I decided I'm going to do with them is I'm going to list them all in my Etsy shop that I don't ever use anymore, really. It's just there. So I thought I would list them all in there, and then I will just sell them, and I will just give the money to my mom. I thought I would do that. Or I don't know, she wants to apply for her passport so she can go with me to England next year. So maybe I will sell the yarn and then hold all of the money, and then when it's enough money for her to apply for her passport, give it to her and say, look, here, I sold the yarn, here's the money, go get your passport. So I don't know, but either way, the money's gonna go back to my mom. But so I'll leave a link down in the description for the Etsy shop if you guys want to take a look. It's pretty much got a mix of everything that you could ever think of in there. And yeah, I think that's it. That's what I've been working on, what I've been enjoying, what I've been hoping to work on. And I think that is it. That catches you guys up. This one was kind of a long one, 53 minutes, but it's been like 2 weeks, and I was sick and in bed for like 3 days because the kids brought me home something and I was sick. So last weekend I couldn't have recorded even if I wanted to. But yeah, I think that's it. So with that said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, that you found it entertaining, that you feel, as always, inspired to start something new. Share down in the comments below. Let us all know what you guys are working on. And yeah, what are you guys working on? I want to know. What is everybody else making? I get inspiration from the most craziest of places. If it's not Instagram, it's Pinterest, or YouTube, or just, what are you guys working on? Put it down in the comments below. Anyway, if you liked this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe. I am trying to grow our little community, and every like, comment, share all helps to make that happen. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye for now. Have a happy Halloween, everyone.